What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to some more My Hero Academia Ultra Impact, and today we have a brand new character being revealed on the official Twitter account, and it is none other than the big boss man himself, the one, the only, All For One is revealed for My Hero Academia Ultra Impact. So if you guys are hyped, make sure to drop a like down below on today's video right now. Also, this is a completely brand new character, so he was not in the beta. We don't know anything about him. We're going to speculate and go over his information from this tweet here today. But before we go ahead and do that, make sure you guys go down there, click that red subscribe button if you haven't already, as well as turn on all notifications by smacking that bell. That way you don't miss out on any future videos, whether it be news, gameplay, guides, showcases, summons, everything. Gonna be your best one-stop shop right here on YouTube for My Hero Academia Ultra Impact, as well as other My Hero Academia content as well. So, All For One, he is officially revealed. And before we go ahead and get into any other things real quick, we all know that the expected release date according to iOS is about June 15th, 2021. Now, that is the expected quote-unquote release date, right? So that date on iOS is generally a placeholder. That's not a confirmed set in stone release date, as we've come to find out, obviously, with My Hero Academia, The Strongest Hero. Their expected release date on iOS was June 1st, but it's actually coming out mid-May. So it's, obviously not a set in stone release date, but could All For One be indicative of the release of the game potentially coming sooner than expected? Now, when I say sooner than expected, I mean between now and June 15th. Could we possibly see it before June 15th? And, I don't know what other hype stuff they would want to reveal right this second, because obviously whenever, you have a gacha game, they reveal like characters, infos, and stuff like that kind of before like new banners drop and stuff like that, just to garner the hype for the game before new banners do come out. Now, majority of these characters that we've gotten revealed so far, some of them have been beta, some of them have been brand new characters. Now, some of those could be day one. I'm not saying that all of these are going to be day one. I don't know that. They all definitely could be day one characters, but we don't know that for sure. These could be characters that they have set out for like the first 2 weeks, the first month, or so on and so forth. We don't actually know. Now, if these are all day one characters, then great. That's awesome. That's a lot of characters we get to look forward to day one. But I don't know. But could All For One kind of be the end tying in of like the villains and all the hero releases and stuff like that? Could we potentially start seeing them tweet out like a potential release date? Who knows? I don't know. My gut is telling me that we could potentially start seeing some info about the release of the game very soon. Again, that's just my gut feeling. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about like the Twitter or anything like that. They could start revealing stuff, but who knows? But All For One seems like a very hype character to start releasing now. So it's like maybe they're trying to garner the best possible hype for the release of the game, right? So who knows? But we'll go ahead and get into reading All For One stuff here today, because this guy is going to be super hype. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on the release date of the game. Let me know your thoughts and stuff like that down in the comments down below. But all right, let's go ahead and get to the All For One stuff here. So, playable character announced, All For One. Quirk is All For One, obviously. His overwhelming presence raises the critical rate of the enemy villain coalition, aka the League of Villains. They word this specifically, or this is just a bad translation on Google's part, but this is talking about the League of Villains, right? This is basically what that's talking about. And that's similar to Tomura Shigaraki's unit, which his passive or auto skill increases the power of the villain union or the League of Villain character allies by 25%. So that's what Tomura does, and this little this All For One is kind of doing the same thing. But what is this specifically talking about? This could be his auto skill, his passive, similar to Tomura, who has that auto skill ability for increasing power. All For One is increasing crit rate for League of Villains. Now that could be talking about his auto skill. Majority of the time, these tweets have been talking about either plus ultras or action skills. So it'd be something different if they're finally talking about auto skills within the game. That'd be cool to start seeing it. Not obviously always talking about attacks and all that kind of stuff, but this could be talking about his passive or auto skill. But I don't know. They generally are talking about their plus ultra attacks. So this All For One down. Let me just this art, man, this art is just beautiful. And this is obviously the All for One that is from the All for One All Might fight in the city, right? It's a Hosu city, right? Or something like that. I can't remember the city name off the top of my head, but this is the All for One, obviously All Might All for One fight. And you can tell that by that screenshot here that they have of the character in game. That arm obviously is from that fight right there. Very, very, you know, obvious that it's from that fight. Also, this is a UR rarity. Not only because, I mean, it's All for One. There's no way he wasn't going to be in a UR rarity. I mean, that's kind of like, if he wasn't a UR rarity, I would have been shocked. But most of the time, as I mentioned in a lot of these videos, these tweets, when they tweet them out, this little screenshot that they always include of the character in the game itself, this is indicative of what rarity usually the unit is of. Now, they could just trick us and be like, hey, this is not even a UR, this is an R or this is an SR. You know, they could just definitely be tricking us. But most likely this is a UR, because most URs, or actually all of the URs that we've had revealed so far, have had a screenshot in the tweet image of their plus ultra attack. Now, when it's a SR rarity or lower, it's usually just the standard model kind of chilling in a standard background, nothing too fancy. It's always just kind of, it's always kind of like a basic screenshot, right? So that's how you can kind of tell if it's an SR or lower. But most likely, without a doubt, this guy's going to be a UR, and his plus ultra is going to be that big old arm right there, man. That's going to be insane of a plus ultra. I cannot wait to see that in game. I can't wait to see this art animated though. I mean, is this like, this is the like forcible quirk activation thing, right? That kind of floats around. Is that going to move and like does it flash or like, you know, pulsate with light or something like that? It'd be really cool, right? I cannot wait to see these animated arts for a lot of these new UR characters, man. I love animated arts, and I love the way that they have been going about doing these animated arts. Looks so good. But anyway, let's go ahead and kind of read his infograph as well real quick before we get too far into it. So his little infograph, bear with me, this is Google Translate, so it's not obviously exact. So it says, once reigning as the ruler of evil, the great evil 6 years ago, he was deeply injured in a death battle with All Might and retired from the line. Becoming a brain and dying, he can take away your quirk and from others and give it to others. So he can take away people's quirks and give people quirks, right? So that's kind of his power. He can also manipulate multiple quirks at the same time. So not only can he take and give quirks, he actually can manipulate and use multiple quirks at the same time. All for One is the biggest powerhouse, and I guess Deku is also kind of the same way, right? He's got All for One, or One for All, kind of stored up over time. He's got like all those different abilities and stuff like that inside of him. And you know, All for One, man, it's very hard to judge what this character can do, even just based off of this. He's just basically giving an increase of critical rate to the League of Villains. That's not a lot to go off of too much. My gut is saying that this particular thing they're talking about in the tweet is either an action skill to where he just raises critical rate of the League of Villain allies. So he'll increase the critical rate of your allies on your team that are League of Villain characters. So he has either that's an action skill or it's his auto/passive skill, right? So it's one or the other. I don't think it's his plus ultra move. I really don't think that's what that is. But it definitely could be, I would say. But I do think that this is probably an action skill, which if we look here, that the action skills are these two kind of skills right here to where they like give damage. Now, not all action skills actually deal damage. A lot of action skills just have like a unique ability, like obviously increasing power, increasing speed, doing this or that, right? So definitely this could be an action skill that even doesn't deal damage, just raising the critical rate of your League of Villain allies. Or it's his passive skill. Now, what his plus ultra ability could do, because All for One, he has this immense strength, immense speed, immense durability, enhances senses, stuff like that. Like that's, you know, that's what he can do. So just based off of like the fight that they're kind of depicting here in the screenshot, obviously the One for All, the All Might and All for One fight in that city, right? So that, I remember him saying like spring like limbs, kinetic booster ×4, blah blah blah. So his plus ultra, I feel like could have a secondary, you know, power increase, so he could get like a power increase of 10% for 3 turns, something like that. Or maybe he could get like a power and speed increase by 10% for 3 turns. That'd be something interesting as well. Maybe he'll have an action skill attack to where he just attacks and it maybe inflicts some sort of status move, because All For One is weird. It's very hard to judge, because if he has the ability to have multiple quirks, then he could literally do nearly anything in the game. He could give status inflictions, he could reduce, you know, stats, he could increase stats of allies, he could increase his own stats, he could do this, and he could increase his damage exponentially. You know, it's all out there, it's all can be done, and it's, you know, very interesting to see how this specific character could work. I would say, just based off of what specific All For One we're getting here, let's say, let me know what typing you think he'll be. I think he'll either be red or power typing, or green, which is the intelligence typing. So either red or green, I feel, could be his typing. And not only he'll have the increased critical rate of League of Villain allies, I feel like he'll also have an ability to where he increases his power, or maybe increases his speed for X amount of percent for X amount of turns. And then his plus ultra, dealing super mega awesome, like 650% damage to a single enemy. And then maybe I'll say maybe increases his power by X% for an X amount of turns or something like that, right? So that would kind of be where I would go with it. That's kind of where I'm leaning towards. I'm interested to see. Definitely, we have a more well-rounded villain team so far, so I think All For One is definitely going to be an excellent pairing with this Shigaraki card. So I think these two will work well together, because Shigaraki is giving that League of Villain increase of power. You're getting that League of Villain critical rate increase, so definitely pairing them together with both of those definitely would be a very, very powerful combination on your main rotation team. And then we have, you know, Toga, who could be on your sub lead or even just a main staple unit. We have Dabi coming, we have Muscular. We already kind of have a full villain team already. We do have enough units that have been revealed now where we could build a full villain team. I would love to see a little bit more villains, a little bit more variety, at least coming in the future. That'd be great. Not just those, you know, 4 or 5 characters. Obviously, I don't think we're just going to have those 4 or 5 characters. We're definitely going to get a lot more villains coming in the future, like Twice. I can't remember off the top of my head, but we're going to probably get a lot more characters off the, you know, in the future, right? So definitely going to be able to get a well-rounded villain team going. Again, I do think that this All For One and Shigaraki going to be the best pairing for your League of Villain team to kind of stack up that power and crit rate. And this All For One, man, I think is going to be a super good unit. Just, even though we don't know what he does, I feel like he's going to be a very good unit when he does come out. But we'll have to wait and see. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this All For One down in the comments down below. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like if you guys are hyped for All For One. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as well as click that bell, turn on all notifications for the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a fantastic day.